Hey guys, it's Stanley from InSinct. It's been a bit of a gap between our last video on YouTube. Things have been busy, but we're back here today. We've got 2025 CFMoto UForce 1000 here, and we're going to pop a few products on this in preparation for the Gympie show, which is coming up this week. So I thought, hey, let's film this as a good starting point to get back into making some more consistent videos. We're going to chuck a few products on here, nothing too fancy, just some basic upgrades to make these a lot more functional. So yeah, I'll give you also a bit of a look around the 1000 for those that haven't seen them, and maybe point out a few differences between the 1000 and the 600. Alrighty, let's get into it. So let's start with a bit of a walk around. This is the Hunt variant of the UForce 1000. So for the 2025 Hunt models, you get the bar work. Seems as though you don't get the doors anymore, and unfortunately you don't get snorkels, which yeah, you'd have to pay for an extra upgrade for those. But you do get that camo sort of wrapping, which is quite cool. Makes them a little more camouflage if you're out in the bush. Some of the differences of the UForce 1000 compared to the 600 that you would have seen on the channel is obviously the engine size. This is a 1000cc versus the 600cc that I have. It's a twin cylinder engine. Sounds quite a bit different. It's a little smoother and quieter than the single cylinder on the 600, but also it's much wider. So you see here you got 3 full seats with seat belts, whereas on the 600, the middle, you can fit someone there, but there's not actually a seat belt. We might just crank it up so you can hear what it sounds like. Everything else is you know, much the same on these. The flip tray, all the other features that the 600 has in terms of the 4-wheel drive, the digital display and whatnot. They still use the same clutch system, which is, we do the RNG performance primary kit upgrades for these. I'm just noticing you got the winch on the Hunt model, which is cool. So yeah, let's fire it up for you so you can hear what the engine sounds like on these. I'd say in general just more quiet and a little smoother than the single cylinder on the 600, and these definitely have a lot more grunt than the 600. I always say to people that you know, when you're looking at choosing between a 600 and a 1000 is, what are you actually planning to use the buggy for? If you've got a larger property and you're doing a lot of commuting between paddocks, or you know, you're hunting between, you know, long distances between areas, then the 1000 is probably the way to go, because it's going to be better for that faster commute. If you've got a smaller property and you're got a lot of little tight areas you need to maneuver around, then the 600 is smaller and a bit more nimble, so you're probably worth considering the 600. Hey, both are good machines. The 1000, this engine has quite a bit of torque down low, so in terms of the clutch engagement, you're going to notice it being a little more sensitive on this than on the 600. But once you put that RNG performance primary kit in there, and if you want, you can also go to the secondary upgrades, and it smooths that right out. Alright, so I'm just going to give you a little bit of a run through of the products we're going to be putting on this 1000 today. We have, firstly, the dash panel kits, so that makes them storage areas just around your knees way more usable, with these little lips at the end of them, so you can put stuff in there and it won't fall out when you're driving along. We're going to put these work light aerial mount brackets on. These are fitted with our roll frame mount clamps, which you'll see in a moment. So this is going to allow us to mount these 9 armor work lights on each side of the A-pillar, which will really help out at night time. And then finally, we're just going to put one of our B-pillar mounting kits on, which also use 2 of these roll frame clamps. What that does is it allows you to mount longer items like shovels, whippersnippers, any sort of thing like that that's too big to fit in the tray, because they end up overhanging, and unless you tie it down, it's just going to fall out over rock ground. You can just mount it on the B-pillar there. You might have seen it on my 600. I've got a shovel mounted there. So yeah, let's get into fitting up some of these products, and I can show you how to install them as well. A lot of it's really straightforward. You only need a couple of tools. So let's get into it. So let's just run through the installation process for our dash storage panels on the UForce 1000. You'll see when you open up your kit that, also put some light on here. There's the 3 compartments that run here. You got the driver's side, middle, and passenger side. In your kit, you're gonna have 3 different size panels, 1 for each of these 3 compartments. So the middle one is obviously this longer one here, and then the shorter one goes on the passenger side, and then the middle size one with a tab goes on the driver's side. So the kits come with all the mounting fasteners. We've actually gone and made these black recently, so they fit in with the dash color nicely. The tools you're going to need a drill with a screw adapter on there, and yeah, obviously a work light if you're in somewhere a little bit darker. If you've got someone to give you a hand to hold the panels, then it is easier, but if not, you can do this on your own. What you want to do first is you want to pop your panel into place like this, and you want to align this top edge so it's parallel with the base of the actual compartment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it pretty close, and I'm going to put this middle screw here in. Probably can't see it. Once that middle screw is in there, and then I've got sort of a pivot point where I can get it lined up where I think it is closest to parallel, and once that's done, we can put the rest of the screws in. Okay, so I'm just going to grab one of the larger screws. So you got 14 of these larger 6-gauge screws, and you get 5 of the smaller 4-gauge screws for the middle panel. So as we're doing the driver's side one, I'm just going to grab one of these 6-gauge screws here and get it ready. Pop it on the end of my drill. Alright, so now we're just going to pop our panel into place. Get this work light out of the way. Hopefully enough light there. So, like I said, you just want to set this, the holes only just need to sit slightly below the actual top edge here. And what you want to do is just sit it down into place, push it up hard against this edge over here. And once you're pretty comfortable that you've got it sitting in a nice spot, I'm pretty happy with it there. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to put this screw in here, the middle one. Nice and slowly. Now, as you're screwing into plastic here, you don't need to go too crazy with it. You only just need to get them nice and firm. And you see what I mean here now? We've got the pivot, so we can line up the other spots and put the rest of the screws in now. So we've gone and put them front screws in now. You see that's sitting there nice and sturdy, but there's actually just one more screw you can put in on the inside there, just to make sure you get the nice and firm for anything heavy you put in there later down the track. So what you can do is, some people actually just use a screwdriver to put that one in. I've got, thankfully, an extension for the drill, so you can just get the drill head away from the panel a bit, and that's what I'm going to use to get that final screw in. So we'll just do that now. Alright, so we've got all our screws in now, and you'll see that we are really nice and firm there. It's not wobbling at all, and that's what we wanted. We didn't want to have any movement in this in case you put anything a little bit heavier in there. So that is the driver's side one done. Let's go ahead and do the middle and the passenger side. Okay, so for our middle one, like I mentioned earlier, you've got 5 smaller screws for this, and the middle one, want to make sure you get the InSinct around the right way. We're just going to sit that here, and the screws are just going to go on the outer border of this compartment. So same thing again, I'm just going to go with getting it lined up. I'm going to put the middle screw in here. Once that middle screw's in, then I can make sure I've got it nice and parallel, and then I'll mount the other screws. So we're sitting nicely on both sides in terms of left to right. Pretty happy with that. Just going to go ahead and mount him now. There we go. And yep, now all we have to do is make sure we're happy that it's nice and parallel, and we'll mount the rest of the screws. And there we have it. We've just finished mounting the middle one. That one's super easy. Again, nice and sturdy. I've opted to have this height so you still got enough room to put decent sized things like ammo boxes and everything, but just a lip there to stop them from falling out. Some people do say, how come you go a little bit higher? It's just because then you're really limited to what you can actually fit in there in the first place. Alrighty, last one to do is on the passenger side here. So following the same procedure as the one on the driver's side, but I might just show you a different method for mounting the screw in this side face here. So put him there like that. Then we'll get that screw in. So just left him somewhat loose so we can play around here. Just go a little bit tighter so it's got some, and if you want you can literally at this stage use a screwdriver to do the final bit. Again, we're going into plastic. Okay, so pretty happy with that. Now we just get our alignment. We want the top surface to be again parallel with the inside of here. So just double checking. I'm quite happy with that. So I can go ahead and put my other screws in. Alright, so you'll see we put all these outer surface screws in now. It's already nice and sturdy, but I'm just going to try a different method for putting this reinforcing screw in here on this face. So I'm just going to try using a nice short screwdriver. It's only plastic, so I think if we just push in a little, so I'm not sure if you can see that, it's a bit hard. It's a dark day here today, a bit of cloud cover, but see how we go with that. Put them in there. Now I'm just putting some pressure. The hardest part here is going to be getting the screw to bite. Once he starts to bite, there we go, starting to bite now. Taking up, just getting nice and firm. And look at that, we're all done. I'm going to say I think that way was actually easier than using the extension on the drill. So nice short screwdriver, Phillips head. That way you got plenty of room to get your arm in there and move around. And you've got less likely to actually round out the head of that screw, which you've probably seen I was struggling a bit with on the other side. So that's that. We've now installed all three panels, which has really improved obviously that storage. So, you know, a lot of people run first aid kits, ammo, pliers, anything like that in here. The whole install process probably took around 10 to 15 minutes. If you had another pair of hands, it'd be even quicker again. Okay, we're back. It's the following day. I ended up having to run out to do a few things yesterday, so I couldn't get the rest of these products installed. But we're running out of time, so I'm going to jump in now. We're going to install our work light / aerial brackets, B-pillar mounting kit, and then we'll get a couple of work lights mounted up there. So back into it. If you haven't seen our roll frame mounting clamps, basically two machined halves that have a profile which perfectly follows that of the roll frame. So that'll go in there. We're going to put these up nice and high so we can get our work lights up on the A pillar. Really easy to install. They come with two M8 stainless steel cap screws. So we'll get these up and installed, and then we can mount our work light / aerial brackets and then put the work lights on there. I'm just going to mount these here but not tighten them right up just yet, because we want to make sure we get the positioning right. So I'll just pop the bolts in, getting them sitting in the right position, and then we can give them the final tighten up when we're happy with the position. So I've pretty much just pushed it up as high as it can go, which is limited just by the actual windscreen frame here. So at least that will give us a good spot to set the height for both of them. Just going to go rinse and repeat on the other side. Good thing about these is they have literally, what is it, 1, 2, plus 5, so you've got 9 M8 threaded holes on either side of this clamp. The reason we did this is just so you can mount pretty much whatever you want. Obviously we got our products which we offer for these, but also appreciate that everybody wants to set their buggy up differently. So we thought this is just a more universal type clamp. It gives you options. And that's really what most people are looking for. Because some people might want to mount a light bar along here, you might want to mount, I don't know, an axe or something off the side of the A-pillar, or a handle. Most people that own these buggies, you're pretty handy yourself, so I appreciate that as well. So this is our work light / aerial bracket. It's got a pattern on there that allows you to either put an aerial, work light, or even take one of the smaller spotlights as well. It's a bit of a universal pattern here. Got the cutout to feed your cabling down through. All of our kits come with the fasteners, so easy to install. And we've actually got a nice rounded slot on the bottom, so you can actually adjust the angle of this bracket. Depending on how you want to mount things, you could put it up on an angle like this, or it even helps just to square it up between both sides. So for this one, we want to get it sitting nice and square. Looks pretty good to me. And we'll give that a little nip up. These are all stainless steel fasteners as well, because I know that sometimes these buggies do sit out in the weather quite a bit. And look, I'm pretty happy with the position on the roll frame clamp there, so I might just give them a final nip as well. You don't need to go very tight on these. Just as firm is fine. They don't move around. We've now got both of the brackets mounted. We'll set our work lights up there. For the work lights this time we're trying the Night Armor ones. I've never tried these before, but just looking at them out of the box, they feel really solid. Decent Deutz plugs, and they even give you a towel to connect up to your existing harness, which is cool. I know these are the flood versions, there's also a spot version, and you can get different sort of covers that go over the lens here, which change the color of the output light. So if you're doing a lot of hunting and stuff, you can use red. There's green ones, blue ones. So I thought that was pretty cool. So we'll try these ones out this time around. We're not actually going to wire these up today. We're just putting them on there as an example for the Gympie show, which is upcoming. But maybe after the show we can wire them up, put one of our dual battery trays in, and then we can show you what they do. If you are in the Sunshine Coast area and you're looking to buy these, you can get them from Chapmans Auto Repairs in Karoi. That's where I got these. head down there and have a chat to Clayton, and he will give you the run through. They've got work lights, they've got light bars, they've got rock lights, everything like that. So if you're into the off-road racing game, then Chapmans will be a name that you've heard before. They're big in the racing industry. They put a lot of these on their race vehicles and whatnot, so that's a tough environment, so I dare say that these are going to be pretty good quality. Just built up the mounting brackets on these lights, stainless steel fasteners, and they come with the Allen keys, which is handy, and then you've also got the mounting bolts here. Probably just going to grab a big flat washer for the top of the bracket. I don't know, maybe the bottom as well. We've got a couple of decent sized washers just so we make sure we're getting a good purchase there. Bit of a trap for inexperienced players like me. I'm just gonna take this bracket back off so I can put my bolt in first, so the bolt head sits up here, just because we're not actually going through anything that thick, so if I come up from the bottom with the bolt, it's actually too long and touches on the base of the light there. Not a big deal, I'll just swap that over now. Alrighty. Got our light ready to go. Let's see, we'll pop a cable down through there like that. Just sit in the middle. It's looking pretty good to me. To be honest, I could probably go with a shorter bolt to mount that. Not too concerned about it though. I think I'm going to get a screwdriver just to hold the head of that bolt down. And we can tighten it up. Just want to mount it off to the side a little bit, because usually when you want these, you've got your headlights, which obviously project forward, but you want your work lights to flood off into the bush a little bit. And obviously you can adjust this to how you like it. Happy with that. Don't need to go too tight. And then we can actually play around with this, but I think I'll just leave it pretty level with the ground. It's looking pretty good to me. Like I said, we're not actually going to wire this one up, so I'm just going to run this cable up through here, and then we can zip tie it out of the way for the moment. And hopefully, maybe after the show, if we get some time, we can run through install of the actual light system with wiring and whatnot. But for now, this is just more for proof of concept for anyone who's looking to buy one of these. All right, let's go ahead and put the second one on. So both of the work lights are mounted now. As you can see, you'd have some pretty good spread into the bush if you're driving along through some dark, scrubby area or anything like that. I've actually running a similar setup on my 600 and it works really good. The final thing we got to do now is we're going to put one of our B-pillar mounting kits on, and this allows you to run like a shovel or something tall just on the B-pillar there and out of the way. So we'll get into that and it's all done. So it's the same drill with the roll frame mounting clamps as we did on the A-pillar. We're just going to do it here on the B-pillar. Very simple, I'm not going to bore you too much with that, so start time lapse now. So now what we're going to do is use our roll frame adapter brackets. So these actually go onto the side of our roll frame clamps, and it just allows you to mount stuff on that plane that's parallel with the B-pillar. Firstly, before we do that, we're going to mount some of our quick fist clamps to the adapter brackets because it's easier to do it once you can get to the back side of these. So these quick fist clamps are really good. These are the 20 to 50, was it 20 to 50 mil roughly? So 25 to 57 millimeters, so most shovel handles, whippersnippers, stuff like that fit in these ones. They're really high quality rubber, UV resistant, everything like that. Used a lot in the fire industry for the rural fireys. In America they use them a lot. They're actually from America. can get all this stuff on our website, guys. But right now what I'm going to do is mount these up like so, and then we can mount them to the raw front clamps. So there's the assembled adapter bracket with the quick fist clamp, and that's just simply going to go onto there like that. Our B-pillar kit comes with, again, stainless steel mounting bolts. So we'll pop those on, tighten those up, and we are good as gold. So we finished and we've mounted our quick fist clamps onto our B-pillar mounting kit. I don't have a shovel here, unfortunately, to show you, but that's what I typically mount on my one there. But just proof of concept, this is a long piece of conduit. And it just allows you to put anything, you know, it could be a whippersnipper, could be a shovel, or anything else like that that you carry around the farm. Just allows you to put it there. And it's somewhere easy to grab, and it's out of the way and not bouncing around in the tray everywhere. So that's it for this one, guys. We've put the dash storage panel, our work light, mounting brackets and the work lights, and our B-pillar mounting kit onto this 1000. Mainly just wanted to show you that it only takes a couple of small mods to increase the functionality of these pretty drastically, in my opinion. Like I said, this one's heading to the Gympie show. It's going to be on display there. I probably won't have a chance to get this video out beforehand, but yeah, if you did get a chance to catch up with us at the Gympie show, that's great. If you've got any questions, please feel free to reach out. Shout out to Yardworks Equipment. They're the ones that actually provided this UForce 1000 for this video. I'll be on the stand with them at the Gympie show. They do the whole range of CFMoto products, a bunch of mower products and ride-ons. Have a look on their website. They've got heaps of gear there. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. As always, if you can like and subscribe, it helps get that channel back up and running again. I'll hope to do a few more videos like this. Got a bit more space now with this shed to actually work on things and do it with decent light and not a heap of noise and whatnot. So if you do like this kind of content, just let me know. Otherwise, we'll be doing some other stuff. Hopefully I know I've said it a lot of times, but some hunting trips soon. I've actually just gone and got myself a trailer to move my 600 around. So that's sort of opened up the door to do a little bit more on that front. Thanks again, guys. Appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.